Imagine this, it's 600 BC, the biggest city in the world is Babylon. There could be as many as 200,000 people inside huge walls that go on for miles. The Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean Sea is part of King Nebuchadnezzar II's empire. The Ishtar Gate shines with blue bricks that have been glazed. The ziggurat of Marduk rises high above the city, and the hanging gardens may have green terraces that flow down. But what was it really like to be here for just one day, not as a king or a priest, but as a regular person living in the biggest city in Mesopotamia? We used our trained on archaeological evidence and historical records to put together a picture of what life was like in ancient Babylon for 24 hours, not just the stories and the wonders. We're talking about the real city, where the Euphrates floods your neighborhood, the contracts you can't read, and the gods who want your attention all the time, from dawn to midnight. This is what life was really like in Babylon a long time ago. Let's go back 2,600 years. Morning. The sun rises over the flat Mesopotamian plain, and Babylon is already on the move. The Euphrates River runs right through the middle of the city, and you standing near it. The river is the most important thing here: water source, trade route, defense wall, and divine presence. It's early Nisan right now, which is the first month of the Babylonian year, and spring soon. The barley harvest will begin. Fishermen are already out on the water in small reed boats called kuffas. The boats are round and waterproofed with bitumen. They look like baskets that float, but they've been around for thousands of years. They're catching catfish and carp, fish that will be sold at the market by noon or dried and salted for later. Women are carrying clay pots down to the river. They have to carry every drop of water. No aqueducts like in Rome. There are no fancy canals in the city. The Euphrates, brown and muddy, flows south toward the Persian Gulf. You can see farmers going to work in the fields outside the city walls. Barley and wheat are the most important things. Irrigation makes everything grow, from date palms to sesame for oil to onions and garlic. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers are what make up Mesopotamia, but these rivers are violent and unpredictable, unlike the Nile in Egypt, which always floods your fields. Will drown if there is too much water. You will starve if you don't eat enough. The Babylonians built a complicated network of canals, dikes, and levees to control the water. It needs to be taken care of all the time. If you don't do the maintenance, the system will break down. But for now, the water is under control, and the city is waking up. You're on your way to the Ishtar Gate by the time the sun is fully up. This is the main way into the inner city, and it's not like anything else in the world. 60 feet tall and completely covered in deep blue glazed bricks, there are lions, bulls, and dragons in relief walking in a line across the surface. Yellow and white on the blue. That can't be real. This isn't just a door, it's a sentence. When you walk into Babylon, you see this. You are walking along the Processional way, which is the wide street that goes from the Ishtar Gate to the temple complex. The street is made of limestone and red breccia. There are more glazed brick lions on the walls on both sides. During the New Year festival, the Odd-Keter priests will take the statue of Marduk along this same path. The streets will be full of people from all over the city. A lot of people are celebrating the rebirth of the universe. But today is just another day. You go through the gate, guards look you over, check to see if you're not bringing any weapons. The inner city is a holy place. The noise hits you as soon as you walk in. This is the business area. People who sell things from all over. People from Persia, Egypt, Greece, Arabia, and India. Babylon is the crossroads of the world. This is where trade routes from the east and west meet. You can hear a dozen different languages. Adian, the language of the area, Aramaic, which is becoming more common. Greek, Egyptian, and Persian stores sell all kinds of things. Anatolia's copper. Afghanistan gave us tin. Persia gave us lapis lazuli. Arabia gave us incense. And Lebanon gave us wood. There are no stones, metals, or wood in Babylon, but they are an agricultural powerhouse, selling a lot of grain, dates, and textiles to other countries. They are rich because they control the trade routes. By mid-morning, you're at a scribe's office close to the market. You need to write a loan agreement. You are borrowing barley to plant your field, and you will pay it back with interest after you harvest it. The scribe is sitting with a lump of wet clay on his lap. He pushes a reed stylus into it, leaving marks that look like wedges. Cuneiform, which means wedge-shaped writing. For more than 2,000 years, people in Mesopotamia have used it. They didn't come up with it, but they've made it better. The scribe writes down your name, the name of the lender, the amount of barley, the interest rate, and the date you have to pay it back. Then he rolls a cylinder seal over the clay. This is a small stone cylinder with a unique design carved into it. It leaves a mark when rolled across with clay. That's your name. Your seal is now official. If you break the contract, Everyone will know the tablet will dry in the sun and then be put away in an archive. There are thousands of these tablets, contracts for businesses, marriages, property sales, and legal fights. The Babylonians write down everything. You pay the scribe in silver. Not coins, they haven't been made yet. A balance weighed small pieces of silver. Everything in Babylon is counted: time, weight, and volume. The Babylonians are very picky about details. They split the day into 12 double hours, the hour into 60 minutes, and the minute into 60 seconds. We still use their system today. By noon, you are walking through a part of the palace grounds, and there, above the mud brick buildings, are terrace gardens full of green plants. One of the 7 wonders of the ancient world was the hanging gardens of Babylon, except that they might not have been real. There are no Babylonian texts that talk about them. There is no archaeological proof. Greek writers wrote about them hundreds of years later. Some historians think they aren't real. Some people think they were real, that they were in Nineveh, not Babylon. But let's say they were real. You can see huge stone terraces that are stacked on top of each other, flowers and trees spilling over the edges, vines that hang down. Water flows from the top, watering each level and making a green oasis in the middle of a brown city. How did the water get up there? Maybe a screw pump that slaves turned a line of buckets pulled by animals might work. People say that Nebuchadnezzar built them for his wife, a Median princess who missed the green mountains of her home. A king is trying to make his queen feel better by recreating paradise. The idea captures something important about Babylon. Whether they were real or not, this city changes nature to fit human needs. It brings water to the desert and builds mountains where the land is flat. A city that says we can do anything by the afternoon. You're at the foot of Etmone, the ziggurat of Marduk, the temple tower that reaches up to heaven. There are 7 levels, and each one is smaller than the one below it. A mud brick building with fired brick on top, maybe 300 feet high. Later, the Greeks will call it the Tower of Babel, the tower that people built to get to God before God scattered them and made their languages hard to understand. But the Babylonians see it as devotion, not arrogance. This is where the sky and the ground meet, the place where the gods come down to talk to people. There is a small shrine at the top. The high priest is the only one who can go in. He spends the night waiting for Marduk to come during the New Year festival, once a year at the moment. Priests are doing the afternoon ritual. They're not going into the top shrine, that's not available. But they are giving gifts at the lower level: sheep, bread, beer, dates, and oil. Babylon's main god is Marduk. He was once a minor god, but now he is the king of the gods. The Babylonians tell a story a long time ago, when the world was new. The gods fought a battle in space. The chaos dragon Tiamat said it would destroy everything. The young god Marduk beat her, cut her in half, and made the heavens from one half and the earth from the other. The gods made him their king and built Babylon as his earthly home. As a reward, every prayer, offering, and ritual strengthens this cosmic order. Marduk keeps things from getting out of hand. The world still revolves around Babylon. The gods are happy, so don't do the rituals, and everything goes wrong. The priests are very serious about this. You're on a rooftop close to the ziggurat as the sun sets, not you. Personally, you don't know enough. But what if you were watching the priests? They are looking at the sky. The best astronomers in the world are the priests of Babylon. For hundreds of years, they've been watching how the sun, moon, and planets move. They've made maps of the paths of Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury, and divided the sky into constellations. They can tell when there will be a lunar eclipse. They keep track of the planet cycles. Why? Because the heavens are messages from God. The Babylonians don't think of astronomy and astrology as 2 different things. The positions of the stars and planets have an effect on things that happen on Earth. A lunar eclipse could mean that the king is in danger. If Venus shows up at the wrong time, it could mean war. The position of Jupiter has an effect on crops. The priests watch all the time and write down everything on clay tablets. They make math models to guess where planets will be. Some of their predictions are right within a day over the course of years. This isn't a superstition. It's advanced math used for religious observation. The Greeks will learn from them. The Persians, Indians, and Arabs will too. This is where modern astronomy starts, on rooftops in Babylon, where priests watch the sky and wrote down their calculations on clay. You go home when it gets dark. Your home is small mud brick walls and a flat roof where you could sleep on hot nights. Few rooms are set up around a central courtyard. No windows that look out onto the street. To keep people safe and private, everything opens up to the courtyard. Your wife has been taking care of the house, making bread, weaving cloth, and raising the kids inside. Women in Babylon have some rights. They can own property, run businesses, and get divorced. But they are expected to stay home, take care of the house, and have kids. Your kids are playing in the courtyard, boys and girls together, until they are old enough to have different roles if you can afford it. Your son could go to a scribal school, learn cuneiform, and become a scribe or a priest. Most kids, though, learn by watching their parents. Kids who grow up on farms become farmers. Children of potters become potters. It's easy to make dinner. Barley bread is thick and healthy, and it tastes like beer. You could add fish, onions or garlic, and dates for sweetness. If you have a lot of money, you might be able to buy meat, mutton, or goat. Most people, though, only eat meat on special occasions. The wealthy live in a very different way. Big houses with lots of rooms. People who work for you do all the work. Instead of local beer, they drank wine from other countries. But everyone drinks beer and eats barley bread. It's what life is built on. You could tell stories about the gods. After dinner, Gilgamesh tried to live forever, but failed. The gods sent a big flood. But one man, Utnapishtim, lived through it by building an ark. People have been telling these stories for thousands of years. People will keep telling them even after Babylon falls. The city finally quiets down late at night. No street lights. No businesses open at night. Just darkness and stars. You can hear dogs barking, voices now and then, and the Euphrates River in the distance. People don't go anywhere at night. It's not safe. Animals, thieves, and demons in the wild. The Babylonians believe in demons, evil spirits that bring disease, bad luck, and death. You have amulets to keep you safe. Little clay figures buried under your door, and spells written on tablets that you hang up in your house. You pray to gods who protect you, like Shamash, the god of justice, and Ishtar, the goddess of love and war. Temples and kings worship the major gods like Marduk. But the household gods and protective spirits are for people like you. You hope they are paying attention. You want your contract to be kept. Your plants will grow. Your kids will be okay. Death of a child is terrible. 1 out of every 3 kids might die before they turn 5. Illness, lack of food, and accidents. You accept that life is hard. This is how things are in the world. Things might go well if you live a good life, obey the law, and respect the gods. The Code of Hammurabi, which was carved on a stone tablet over 1,000 years ago, still has an effect on Babylonian law. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Justice is tough, but fair. Everyone knows what to do. That was a day in ancient Babylon. Not just the Ishtar Gate and the Hanging Gardens, not just the myths and the wonders. The real city has uneven contracts and barley bread, priests watching the stars, and the Euphrates River running through the middle of everything. This day happened a long time ago in Babylon. The city had been around for more than 1,000 years, and would last for a few more centuries before the Persians took it over. Then Alexander the Great took it over, and then it slowly emptied and became ruins. But in 600 BC, Babylon was the biggest, richest, and most important city in the world. It was also the place where mathematics, astronomy, law, and literature reached heights that wouldn't be reached for hundreds of years. It gave us the 360 circle, the 60-minute hour, and the 7-day week. They wrote down the first legal code, made the first systematic astronomy, and wrote some of the oldest books in the world. The Epic of Gilgamesh, written in cuneiform on clay tablets, is older than the Bible and Homer's works. It can still be read today because clay tablets last forever. Unlike papyrus or parchment, archaeologists have dug up thousands of them from the ruins of Babylon and other cities in Mesopotamia. Business contracts, medical texts, astronomical observations, love poems, legal disputes, schoolwork, and even a whole civilization preserved in hardened mud. Most of Babylon is gone now. A Berlin museum dug up and rebuilt the Ishtar Gate. There are a lot of ruins in Iraq that make up the ziggurat, but the ideas lived on the math, the astronomy, the law, and the stories. When you look at the clock and see that there are 60 minutes in an hour, you are using Babylonian math when you read about Noah's flood. You're hearing a version of the Gilgamesh epic. The city of Babylon fell, but what Babylon built still affects how we think. Thank you for watching Time Warp Cities. It takes a lot of research and time to put together these reconstructions, which are based on thousands of years of history. If you like this trip through ancient Babylon, please subscribe for more history that you can really get into, and leave a comment. Which old civilization should we go to next? We'll see you in the as always.